I was doing that.
Oh,
I think I told you that.
Yes.
And my granddaughter started going, like an old lady, you know, like
Hey, be careful.
be careful. Oh, yeah.
Oh, well, today we're going to start with a meditation and some grounding poses. So if you want to you have a choice, you can either start in a seated pose. If you want to lie down on your back, you're welcome to do that. Or if you want to flip over into child's pose on your knees with your arms extended out, you're welcome to do any of those options. So find a position that's comfortable for you. And then if you would like, you can close your eyes, or you can soften your gaze, or you can just lower your gaze or find something to focus on in the room. And then just begin to focus on your breath. And then start to, if you can, let go of anything that maybe came before this. Maybe take a few deep breaths here. Just really center yourself in this moment. And then think about, as you focus on your breath, following that breath all the way into your body. Thinking about it becoming expansive in your lungs, even on the back side of your lungs. And then filling up down into your diaphragm and your abdominal area. And if you'd like, if it's comfortable for you, you can take a nice deep breath and hold it for a moment, and then exhale out very deeply. So as you continue to breathe at whatever pace is normal and right for your body today, I'm going to invite you into this meditation. It's called the Riverbank Meditation, and it was written by some folks down at North Carolina State University. And they've written, imagine a river or a stream. You're sitting on the bank of this river where boats and ships are sailing past. While the stream flows past your eye, I'm going to ask you to name each one of these vessels or thoughts floating by. So for example, one of the boats could be called My Anxiety About Tomorrow. Or maybe along comes the ship and you name it Objections to My Coworker. Or maybe another boat titled I Don't Do That Well. But every judgment that you pass is one of these boats. So take a few moments to give each one of them a name, and then let them move on. I'm going to give you just a few moments as you kind of identify what boats are on your stream or on your river. And as you identify each one, and then again, allow it to sail on past. Continuing to breathe as we do so. As you continue to do this practice, we're going to continue on with this meditation, and it says, for some people, this is a very difficult exercise because we're used to jumping on board our boats immediately. In doing so, we give them gas. As soon as we own a boat and identify with it, it picks up its own energy. We have to practice unpossessing, letting go, and detaching from our thoughts and feelings, or else they own us. With every idea or image that comes into our minds, we have the opportunity to say, that doesn't serve me. And this frees you to intentionally choose your identity and how to move forward instead. Some of the boats that are accustomed to us jumping on board immediately may head back upstream and return down the river trying to catch our attention again. Some people feel the need to torpedo their boats, but you don't have to attack or hate or condemn any of those thoughts or ideas. Rather, remind yourself that you're not perfect and acknowledge it neutrally. So it's not good or bad. It's not a, I have to do this or I don't have to do that or I can't do that or I'm not allowed. But the point is to recognize thoughts and feelings and to say, maybe that's not necessary, or I can let go of that, or I don't need that today. But in a friendly way. If we learn to handle ourselves tenderly and lovingly, then we'll be able to carry this same loving wisdom into our other relationships. So the next time a ship passes by that carries with it a thought of anxiety or discouragement, just notice the ship and then politely watch it pass on by, only hopping aboard if you choose to do so. So as we do this practice today, I'm going to encourage you to keep your mind in this riverbank meditation. So as we move our bodies, if there are thoughts or feelings that come up for you, again, picturing a river and picturing those thoughts and feelings as boats on that river and just allowing them to move through and to move on. So from your initial position, we're going to roll onto our knees and hands. And we're going to take a neutral tabletop position here. Again, with our knees underneath our hips and our wrists underneath our shoulders. And we're going to start today with some gentle cat-cows. So my encouragement is to start small and then to make the motion bigger as we go through these cat-cows. So first we're going to drop the belly, allow the tailbone to come up, allow the head to come up, reaching the crown of the head up toward the ceiling. And then when you're ready to exhale, go ahead and tip that tailbone under, arching the spine and then tucking your chin. And if you need to find a little extra movement in these poses, feel free to sway from side to side, or maybe you need to kind of test your shoulders a little bit, and so you need to do some circles or something like that. But feel free to find a little bit of movement. And then when you're ready, we're going to go ahead and drop that belly back down toward the mat. This time thinking about opening up the chest. Inhaling nice and deeply. And then again, we're going to curve that spine in the opposite direction, arching up toward the ceiling, allowing the crown of the head to fall down toward the back. And then moving back into cow. Again, nice and slow and intentional. Thinking about opening up that chest. Thinking about stretching out the front side of your abdominal wall. And then when you're ready again, moving into cat. This time really arching up and stretching between those shoulder blades. Again, tucking your chin to protect all the little muscles in your neck. And then moving back into cow, this time, see if you can press your rib cage down toward the mat. Again, breathing deeply as you're moving. And then when you're ready, arching one more time up toward the ceiling, tucking that chin, again, finding a little bit of movement if you need to. And then go ahead and sit back onto those heels, stretching those arms forward, coming down into child's pose. I'm going to invite you to draw your attention to the mat beneath you, how that supports your body even as you do these different poses. And then when you're ready, we're going to walk our hands off to the left-hand side, taking our right hand on top of our left hand, really stretching out one side of the body as we contract in through the other. Continuing to breathe deeply here. When you're ready, you can go ahead and start to walk those hands to the other side, this time taking the left hand on top. And when you're ready, you can walk those hands back to center, pulling yourself up gently back to all fours or back to tabletop here. This time we're gonna, again, go through some cat-cows, but I would love for you to follow your own breath. And so when you are ready to inhale, go ahead and move into cow. And when you're ready to exhale, go ahead and arch up into cat. Just following your own breath. Going at your own pace. Maybe doing 5 or 6 of those. Then coming back to neutral. This time we're going to do thread the needle pose. So we're going to sit back on top of our heels once more, but this time we're going to slide that left hand underneath the right before we come down all the way to the mat. Feeling a really nice stretch on the back side of that left arm. And then on the back side of that left shoulder as well. Holding the pose, but not holding the breath. Go ahead and start to slide that hand out in front. Switching sides, taking that right arm down and underneath, and then coming down to the mat. Again, feeling a really nice stretch on the back side of the right arm and the back side of the right shoulder. And then when you're ready, go ahead and pull that hand out. We're going to come back to all fours once more. We're going to tuck our toes, and we're going to do several downward facing dogs today. And so I wanted to give you this option. If downward facing dog is not a position that's comfortable for you, you're always welcome to sit back in child's pose. Or if you want to stay up on your knees, you can come down to your elbows for a modified child's pose this, or not child's pose, but modified downward facing dog this way. Or you can always also come down, stretching your arms all the way forward, but leaving your hips up toward the ceiling. So for those of us who are doing downward facing dog, we're gonna tuck our toes and then lift our hips up toward the ceiling. Or if you want to take one of those alternate poses, you can. And here, we're just going to bend one knee at a time. And walking ourselves into this position, feeling the stretch, and then feeling a little bit of relief. As we shift our weight from side to side, we can draw our attention back to our river meditation. Thinking about how those ships and thoughts shift inside of us. When you're ready, we're going to find some stillness here, and then we're going to lean forward, bending our knees, untucking our toes, and then sitting back into child's pose once more. And I'm going to invite you to walk your hands to one side again. Open up that side body. Pausing for a breath or two. And then walking those hands to the other side. And opening up the other side body, really contracting in to the opposite side. And then coming back to center. Coming up onto all fours once more. Shifting those knees underneath our hips once more. And we're going to tuck our toes and then lift our hips back up into downward facing dog. Or you can take one of the modified positions that I went through earlier. So either child's pose or a puppy dog pose, or just being on your knees and elbows instead of on your feet and hands. So get a deep breath here. Here we're going to start to walk our feet toward our hands slowly, bending our knees as we do so, coming to the top of the mat, leaving those knees bent. We're going to start to straighten up, taking our arms out to either side, just coming up very slowly, taking those hands up overhead as we inhale, and then exhale those arms down. Very good. We're going to stay here in mountain pose for probably at least 3 breaths. And then we're going to move directly into our balancing postures for today. So as always, if you need to move toward a chair or the wall or something for added balance, feel free to do that. We're going to start in mountain pose. Our feet are hip-width apart. Our tailbones are softened down. Our bellies are pulled in toward our spine. Our knees are a little bit soft. Our shoulders are rolled back and down. Our chest is a little bit open. And again, we're taking a few deep breaths in this mountain pose. And then when we're ready, we're going to shift our weight to our left foot, drawing the right foot in, like a little kickstand. Taking our hands to heart center for tree pose. And And then if you would like, you can start to draw that right foot up your left leg to a place that feels comfortable to you. And you can also extend your arms out one at a time, going into a deeper expression of tree pose. Softening your gaze or finding a spot in the room to focus on often help put our balance. And then here we're going to take both arms down to either side, and we're going to draw that right knee toward the front. We're going to take our right forefinger and thumb and hook it around your big toe. And then here, you're going to see if you can just draw your knee up as high as you can. So you're getting a nice deep stretch in that, in your hip, as well as using those stabilizing muscles. And then you're going to release that all down to the mat. Ooh, and you're going to shake out that leg. Let's do a quick stretch on the right hip flexor. So let's step back with that right foot. We're going to bring ourselves onto the ball of the foot on the back here. So our heel is up off of the mat. We're going to think about straightening this back leg as much as possible. If you like, you can raise your arms, or you can do your hands at heart center or out to either side for balance. But you're thinking about elongating that spine, standing nice and tall with your upper body, and then straightening that back leg. And then let's go ahead and step forward. Again, shaking out that left foot. And then returning to our mountain pose. So we're gonna, again, start in mountain pose. Feet are really firmly planted on the mat. We're thinking about our alignment of our bodies. And when all of that is set, and we're starting to shift our weight to that right foot, drawing the left foot in, like a little kickstand, taking the hands to heart center, the tree pose. And then if you would like, you can start to move that left foot up the right leg. And then extending one arm at a time out for a deeper expression of tree pose. Again, thinking about your posture and your alignment as you focus on your balance. Holding the pose, but not holding the breath. And then taking both hands down to either side. We're going to go ahead and draw that left knee forward. This time taking your index finger and your thumb of your left hand, hooking that around that left big toe. And then again, drawing that knee up as high as you can. Taking a deep breath. Thinking about drawing that belly button in towards your spine. And then releasing that and stepping out and shaking out that leg. Okay, we're going to stretch out the left hip flexor. So we're going to step back with that left leg coming into our crescent lunge, if you will, on the other side. So we're straightening that back leg as much as possible. We're up on the ball of the foot. If you would like, you can bring your hands to heart center, or out to either side, or up in front. Then really focusing in on the front side of that left hip. And then go ahead and drop those arms, step forward, and shake out that right leg again. And then from here, we're going to do our sun salutation A's. So that will probably create quite a bit of heat in our bodies. So if you ever need to, feel free to just come down to your mat or lay down or stand if you need to kind of cool down for a little bit. I will take you through the sun salutation aid the first couple of times, and then we'll just spend a few moments and I'll just say go at your own pace and you can do that. But first, we're going to start by inhaling both arms up, palms together, and exhale all the way forward. The forward fold. We're going to go ahead and come into a flat back pose. So you can either come to your fingertips or you can bring your palms to the front side of your shins, either way. And then we're going to exhale down again. And we're going to step back into plank pose. So we're stepping back. I'm going to start with my right foot. And then we're lowering ourselves all the way down to the mat. Drop your knees if you need to. Untuck your toes and then come up either into cobra or upward facing dog. Lower all the way down again. Inhale as you tuck those toes, and then exhale as you push up into your plank pose once more. This time you're going to shift your hips back, coming into downward facing dog. Then you're going to look forward toward your hands, and with whichever foot you use to step back, you're going to use that same foot to step forward. So I'm starting to step forward with my right, and then my left. And I'm going to come back into that flat back pose, and then exhale forward. And then I'm going to take my arms out to either side as I sweep all the way up, and then exhale those arms down. So we're going to do that on the other side again. Inhaling both arms up, palms together, exhale all the way forward. Inhale into flat back pose. Exhale all the way forward, this time stepping back with your left foot, and then your right into plank pose. Lowering yourself down. Inhaling as you come up. Exhaling all the way down. Inhaling as you tuck your toes. And then exhale as you push up into plank pose again, and then back into downward facing dog. Looking forward, stepping forward with your left foot this time. Inhale. And then you're coming up into your flat back pose. Exhaling all the way forward again. Inhale, arms out to either side. Scoot all the way up. And then exhale those arms down into mountain. Very good. So we're going to do that several more times. I did not bring my phone to keep time today, but my idea is that
11:31.
It's 11:31. Okay, so we're going to take about 5 minutes, and you just go at your own pace through that whole practice. And if you get lost, you can look up here to me and see what I'm doing. And that's totally fine. For those of you who are joining us online or at home, if you'd like to turn on a song and do this practice to a song, you're welcome to do that too. But we're going to go ahead and we'll get started. So starting in mountain pose, and then go ahead and go through your flow at your own pace.
you want.
I
do understand.
No, I get that. Let me double check our time real quick.
Is
Is that not 5 minutes? It was 4.5.
Really?
So that was close. That's great. Yes. Woo. Okay, when you are done with your sets of sun salutation A, go ahead and meet me at the top of your mats. Coming back into mountain pose. Taking some deep breaths or grabbing some water if you need to. Hopefully those of you who are joining online have lots of air conditioning in your house. We are roasting over here. What's that?
Hot yoga.
Yeah, we're doing hot yoga today. That's good.
I was thinking that too. For us it is.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna step back with our right leg. We're gonna come into a perpendicular stance, so that back foot is facing the long edge, the front foot is facing that short edge. We're gonna come up into warrior two pose. Thinking about opening up your chest here. And thinking about having your ears stacked over top of your shoulders, which are stacked over top of your hips. And then here, if you can, we're going to do a little bit of a static strengthening pose. So you're going to see if you can press your feet into the mat and then draw them together. What that's going to do is that's going to engage the muscles on the inside and back side of your legs here. So you're drawing those together.
It's just like kind of tighten up.
Yep, so they're like really tight all of a sudden, yep. And then we're gonna take both hands, we're gonna pinwheel all the way down to the mat, allowing that back heel to come up off the mat. Then we're gonna step forward with that back leg coming to the front, stretching into forward fold first, and coming up into halfway lift as we inhale. Exhale all the way down into forward fold. Inhale, both arms out to the sides, coming all the way up. And then exhaling, arms down again. All right, this time stepping back with the left leg. Again, we're coming into that perpendicular stance. We're going to take both arms out into warrior two. So checking in with your arms that they are, pretty even, so one's not like down further than the other. We're not playing a TikTok clock here. And then again, think about pressing your feet down into the mat and then drawing them close together. So again, that's going to engage the muscles on the inside of your legs. Your legs might feel a little shaky, that's okay. And then when you're ready, we're going to pinwheel those hands down to the mat, allow the back heel to come up, and we're going to step forward with that back leg to meet the right, rolling forward first, then inhaling into halfway lift, then exhaling back down into forward fold, then sweeping those arms out to either side as we inhale all the way up, and then as we exhale, arms down. And now we're adding on to that. So we're stepping back with the right foot. Lifting our arms into our warrior two pose. This time we're going to drop that back arm. We're going to lift the front arm, but we're going to leave our front knee bent. And then we're going to pinwheel those arms all the way down, but this time we're going to straighten that front knee. Coming into our pyramid pose. Allowing that hamstring on that left leg to get a really nice stretch. Then bending that front knee, we're going to allow the back heel to come up. And again, we're going to step forward with that back leg, Coming into a forward fold at the top of our mat. And inhaling as we flatten our backs. And then exhaling all the way forward again. Inhaling, arms out to either side. Coming all the way up. And then exhaling, arms down. All right, adding on to the other side. We're stepping back to the left foot this time. And then we're coming up into our warrior two pose. Taking a nice deep breath. If you'd like, you can draw those legs together so you're pressing your feet into the mat and then pulling them together. And then you're dropping that back arm, lifting the front arm. And we're going to pinwheel those all the way down, this time straightening that front leg, coming into pyramid pose on the other side. Getting a really nice stretch on that right hamstring. And we're stepping forward with that back foot. Oops, I'm sorry. Actually, we're lifting the back heel first, and then stepping forward. That's a lot easier on our bodies. Then we're folding forward, exhaling, inhaling into flat back, and exhaling all the way forward. Arms out to the side as you lift, up, and then exhale, arms down. Let's stay in mountain pose just for a couple of recovery breaths. So exhaling out through the mouth, so that way you're exhaling that excess heat that's in your body. Inhaling through your nose.
Actually, no. Did you see that?
Sorry. So you're inhaling through your nose, feeling that cool air come into your lungs. You're releasing the heat from the body through your exhale. As a little side note, we're actually, when we inhale through our nose, all those little cilia in our nose are actually helping to cleanse the air as it goes into our bodies. And then as we, cilia, yeah. And then as we exhale through our mouths, we're actually releasing toxins from our bodies too. So here, we're going to return back to our balancing postures. We're going to start to shift our weight to our left foot, drawing that right foot in. Bring our hands to heart center. And then again, if you'd like to find a deeper expression of this tree pose, you're welcome to do that. Continuing to breathe as you do so. Really drawing that belly button in towards your spine. Engaging your core muscles. And releasing both arms down as you draw that knee forward. We're going to go ahead and take hold of that big toe. And we're going to pull up on that right knee. Bring it as high as you can. And we're going to release that and step out. And shake it all out. Stepping back with that right foot. Coming onto the ball of the foot again. And this time, again, we're straightening that back leg as much as possible. You can either bring your hands to chest or out to the side for balance, or up in front if you like. Thinking about softening those hip bones down. And then stepping forward with that back leg. Just again, stretching out that left foot. And then returning to the toes. When you're ready, we're going to start to shift our weight to that right foot, drawing the left foot in, taking our hands to heart center for tree pose. Again, exploring this pose more deeply if you would like. And thinking about about softening that tailbone down, elongating your spine. You're taking both arms down to either side as you draw that knee forward. And go ahead and take hold of that big toe with the left hand. And then think about drawing that knee up as high as you can, while also maintaining your balance. And then stepping out, back into mountain. Woo. And we're going to step back with that left leg. Again, on the ball of the foot, thinking about straightening that back leg as much as possible. And again, you can bring your arms up into a position that feels comfortable to you. Checking in with your ears, that they are over top of your shoulders still. You might notice that that opens up your chest a little bit. And then stepping forward with that back foot, and then shaking it all out.
I'm sorry, I'm not disgusted.
Oh, no, you're good. You're good. So we've come to our cool down phase.
Good luck with that.
We are going to do several back bends. So I'm going to invite you guys to lay down on your mats.
Yeah. Oh, that was good. All right. Oh, yes.
I'm going to read something, so just take a few deep breaths as you lay down on your mat first. I'm going to read part of our riverbank meditation again. So again, the invitation for today, the picture for today is to imagine a river or a stream. And you're sitting on the bank of this river, where boats and ships are sailing past. And while the stream flows past your eye, you name each one of these boats, which represent thoughts that are floated by. Taking the time to give them a name, but then also to just let them move on. So practicing that letting go, that detaching from our thoughts and feelings. Maybe recognizing what ships are going to serve us well today and which ones will not. And that frees us to choose what boats we're going to get on and what boats we're just going to let flow by. So again, we are here laying down on our mats. I'm going to invite you to bring your feet to the mat. Again, focusing on your breath. And then following that breath all the way in. And then all the way back out. When you're ready, we're going to start with some mini cat-cows. And so we're going to start by just pressing the small of our back into the mat. And then pressing the tailbone into the mat and allowing the small of our back to come off of the mat. And then go ahead and start to follow your breath. Inhaling on one, exhaling on the other. And then coming back to neutral, we're going to start to press our feet into the mat as we start to peel our spine up one vertebrae at a time, starting with your tailbone. Coming up into bridge pose. Again, engaging those core muscles, feeling the strength as it moves down from your core into your legs. Feeling the strength in your muscles on the back side of your body through your glutes and hamstrings. And then when you're ready, go ahead on your next exhale and start to roll back down to the mat. Releasing your tailbone is the last thing. And then drawing your knees into your chest, rocking back and forth across that low back. Coming back to center, go ahead and drop those feet back down to the mat, taking your arms down alongside of you for support. And then if you would like, you can start to press your feet into the mat, drawing your hips up toward the ceiling. This time, see if you can draw those hips up a little bit further toward the ceiling, kind of arching your back just slightly. Continuing to breathe. Really pressing those feet into the mat. And then again, rolling back down to the mat, one vertebrae at a time. And then taking those knees into your chest and rocking back and forth across that low back. Coming back to center, go ahead and again, release those feet down. Drawing those hips up toward the ceiling. See if you can kind of roll up so far that you can come onto more like the tops of your shoulders. If it's helpful for you to interlace your fingers underneath your body and to straighten your arms as support, you can do that. Drawing that chin down to your chest. And then releasing those arms. And again, coming down one vertebrae at a time. Drawing those knees into your chest. And then rocking back and forth across that low back. Coming back to center, I'm going to invite you to take your hands to the outside of your feet. And then open up those feet toward the ceiling, coming into happy baby pose. And again, if this is not comfortable or doesn't feel like a safe position for you in your body, then feel free to flip over onto your knees to come into child's pose. Or to just leave your knees together and rock back and forth across that low back. And then allowing those feet to come together. Release those feet down to the mat. Taking your arms down alongside your bodies. Take a few nice deep breaths here. And drawing your knees back into your chest. I'm going to invite you to take your palms to the front side of your knees and then to draw some little circles with your knees in the air. And this is a smaller motion than what we were doing when we were rocking back and forth across our low back. And then going the opposite direction. You can come back to center, releasing those feet down to the mat. Drawing your arms down alongside your bodies, and then go ahead and extend one leg at a time down to the mat. Softening your low back space and your hips. Relaxing your thighs and your hamstrings. Allowing your feet to fall open. coming into our final relaxation pose. So again, you're welcome to stay here, or you can roll to one side. We're going to take just a few minutes of that final relaxation position. Now call us back together. And when you can start to bring your awareness back to this moment, if you'd like to wiggle your toes or rotate your ankles, feel free to do that. If you'd like to wiggle your fingers or stretch out your hands, feel free to do that. And then go ahead and gently push yourself up into a seated position. Feel free to close your eyes or soften your gaze if you would like to. And then I'm going to invite you to open your palms on your knees or to go ahead and cover your hands over your heart. And I'll pray for us. God, we receive your grace today. Your grace that is inexplicable and unfathomable. We can't explain it or understand it, but Lord, we know that your grace covers us. So God, when we get into those positions where we can see our thoughts as ships floating along the river, and we tend so quickly to jump on one of those, would your grace stay us on that bank? God, would your grace give us the wisdom to know which ships are going to serve us well that day and which ones we should just allow to float on by. So God, we submit ourselves to your grace, and it's in your grace we go today. We pray all this in your name.
Thank you, Audrey.
Thank you all for coming.
Whew. We have warm muscles.
Yeah, we do have warm muscles.